Hello everyone and welcome back to The Way Away. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ashley. We are excited to discuss our summer Nordic series.
Nordic summer series. I tried to hammer this into her.
I got it wrong.
Nordic summer series.
And yeah, we wanted to just sit down and discuss like some of the things that we learned, some places that we really enjoyed.
Yeah, we thought it'd be fun to go back and do like a wrap up of the whole trip, including what is our most favorite destination, which I think was one of our most asked questions about this trip.
Yeah, along with is Eurail worth it? Should you do Eurail, use Eurail passes in the Nordics? And yeah, I think that it's best to start out with, when we planned this, when we were thinking about going to the Nordics, doing it by train was intriguing, but we didn't know if it was actually even possible. We didn't do a lot of like specific research into it, and I think that
you did do the research into it, but when the idea popped into our heads, we didn't know if you could take a train through the Nordics. We knew that there was train systems in like Finland, we knew there's train systems in Sweden, we knew there were train systems in Norway. We didn't know if we could do the whole thing. And spoiler, if you haven't watched the series yet, we technically didn't. But we also technically did because of a technicality.
Well, kind of a small technicality. Yeah. And it was, okay, well.
So, to recap the whole trip, we started in Finland, we popped over to Russia real quick, which was not on a train, that was a boat. And then,
that was a last minute thing, and it was amazing, and I would do it again, and highly recommend.
And then we went up north in Finland, and then we popped over to Sweden up north. We came down to Stockholm. Whew, I could not think of the capital's name. Stockholm. And then we went over to Norway, and that's basically how the trip went.
Yeah, so we actually did partner with Eurail. They gave us tickets.
Right.
We had 2 months to do 15 days of travel with these tickets. Our Eurail passes, we actually only used 11 days. So you just put the date in here, and we used up to 11. We could do 15, but at the end of our trip, we had the opportunity to road trip with some friends instead of taking train travel, and that's what we decided to do. Therefore, we used less of those days, even though we had them available and ready for us to use them. And
to be economical, you would have wanted to use all 15 if you bought the 15, or they have a 10 trip,
I believe.
One, which would probably work just as well. It depends on your plans for the trip.
So definitely have like where you want to go first, where you're scheduled. This has your passport number on it.
Don't worry, I'll blur that out.
Okay. And yeah, so we filled this out. This is pretty much everywhere that we went while on the rail. It is everywhere we went on the rail. And the whole thing with Eurail is they ask us to mail it back to them. So you rip this portion off and mail it back. And then
I didn't know
they
that.
they have this itinerary, and they can put it on their website so that other people can go on that itinerary, seeing that it works and that people have used it.
So there is a link in the description for Eurail. There's no discount or anything, it's just a link to their website, but we get a cut if you sign up for it.
It's an affiliate link, so we get a little portion. Yeah. But highly recommend the Eurail passes. I always get nervous because I don't know like if the conductors will know about it, and I'm always like,
they're
what are they gonna think? They all know exactly what it is. They all take it, just check everything, and then it's just super easy from there. The only thing is when you have to take rail and you don't have a reservation, and so then you have to move spots, which is just a little inconvenient, but not that big a deal. And for the most part, we had reservations for our
pretty much the whole thing. I think like in Norway, you kind of need to get reservations. Is that right? Or was it Finland? Finland, we didn't really have a problem. No, now I'm getting confused. But anyways, not very often did we ever have to move a seat because someone had a reservation for that seat. But generally, you just kind of don't get yourself too settled for like the first hour or so. And then if someone says, hey, it's my seat, you're like, okay. And like everyone kind of knows. Like it's not really a problem. It's not like, you're in my seat. It's just like, hey, that's mine. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, European train travel is so much more comfortable and enjoyable than any other train travel we've done.
I think so.
Particularly the US, just the train travel is not a common thing, and it's not as easy as it is in Europe. And mainland Europe, like I would think, is really easy, but like between Finland, Sweden, and Norway, it was fairly easy. There were some little quirks that we had to learn about, but other than that.
Specifically that technicality I said where we technically did do a train the whole way through, but we also didn't technically, is that there is, between Finland and Sweden, there's a bus line that connects the two rails because they just didn't connect the rail over the border.
Yeah.
But it's either free or discount, Ashley would know, to get that bus connection when you have your Eurail pass.
Yeah, so they make it super easy for you to get a discount to take that travel.
So it's part of the Eurail system,
yeah,
but it's not technically a train.
They still have partnership with the bus company, so
there you have it. Okay, so Ashley, the question that everyone's always been waiting for: what was your favorite place of the entire trip?
Finland, I think, takes the cake because we did have some amazing partnerships which allowed us to do some incredible activities that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do.
It is important to know that we are biased. Please understand we are biased. We were given free things to do and it made our experience better.
But we were able to show you guys some experiences that if you wanted to save up and do, you could do. And they were experiences that I would highly recommend saving up and doing.
They were really special.
Yeah, so one of my favorite experiences was floating in the midnight sun on a lake. Who knew you could even do that? And then being there specifically during the midnight sun, and there was a cuckoo bird in the trees, and we can hear him cuckooing, and it was just like across the water, and it was just quiet other than us giggling the whole time, but it was just beautiful. Such a great experience. I also highly enjoyed going out into Lapland and trying to survive. I found that really fun. All the locals we've met were absolutely incredible. One of you guys invited us to your summer home, and we didn't get to film much of it because we were just enjoying the experience, but to have that experience in Finland, I think it just made it for me.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite experiences would have been the spa that we did in northern Sweden. Now, we did spa several different times, and we've done spa several times on different trips.
What is it?
Oh, sorry.
Sauna.
Sauna. There you go. That's the right word, actually. When we did sauna. But I loved the experience that we had in Sweden because it really encapsulated this sort of Nordic culture of being close to nature and in a way, living simply, or it's sort of like refined minimalism, if I could put an aesthetic to it. And it was so wonderful to just be in this beautiful cabin, be in nature, be kind of isolated, and then have the experience of just going through sauna, which I love. Ashley does not. And then just being connected to nature and sort of torturing yourself in this wonderful way, which I do truly love it.
It was so nice. And then going fishing was so fun, even though we didn't catch anything. Just when we plan these trips, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have everything planned step by step. And so we get connections, we talk to people, and we get these opportunities that are absolutely amazing and really make the trip 100% better than what we expected from the very beginning, because we had no idea that opportunity was going to come along.
And I have to say, we got a lot of comments on our video in Oslo where we mentioned it. Why didn't we like Oslo? And a lot of people would sort of agreed with us, yeah, Oslo is a bit unapproachable. And then other people were like, you didn't do your research and that sort of thing. Ashley, to the people who said you didn't do your research on Oslo, what do you have to say?
I think that Oslo is definitely a place that going with a local would be a better experience than us as tourists, but we're going in just like anybody else. Most people aren't going to know a local in the city, and so we did it that way. We have been before, and we did skip some of the things that we had done previously, which people might have thought, why didn't you do that? Well, we have already done it, and we do have another video on that. But it just didn't gel with us, and that's okay.
That's all right.
I think that for us, being honest with you guys and sharing our experience, we're not poo-pooing it. We're not saying don't go there, or take our word for it. Don't take our word for it. Just go and experience it yourself. But yeah, that's the experience that we had, and we want to be honest with it. I don't think that loving every single destination is realistic for everyone, especially when we've been to so many amazing destinations. It's easy for us to compare places, and so yeah, it just was not my favorite. Although outside of the city is absolutely incredible in Norway, and I would highly recommend going up into the mountains, going to small villages. Norway, to me, that's Norway versus city life. So if I'm gonna go on a trip to Norway and I'm gonna plan a trip, I would go adventuring. I would go biking. I would go hiking. I would go on a boat like we've done.
And there's always room for personal preference. Like she said, you don't have to like everywhere you go. And for whatever reason, various little bits and bobs, Oslo just doesn't gel with our style. I think it would actually be a pretty nice place to live, but as a visiting tourist, I found it a little hard to access because what I was trying to get at is Ashley did do her research and found that a lot of things were just not super accessible to a tourist. It was either expensive or there just wasn't as much going on, or it wasn't as quote-unquote impressive as other places. But I would have to agree with her. And so many of you in the comments said, yeah, Norway is all about the fjords and the nature. Get up north, get out of Oslo. A lot of Norwegians even said, like, just, get out of Oslo, it's fine, but
Once we hit Norway, we saw so many more backpackers, like so many more backpackers. So it's definitely well known for that and a place to go for that.
As we mentioned, we had some leftover trips that we could have taken on our Eurail pass, and had we the time, we would have loved to have gone up farther north, which you can do on the rail system using your Eurail pass. So that's something that we would have loved to have do.
And we had planned from the beginning. If you saw our very first video, it was on our map, but we just ran out of time.
We wanted to be with friends. If we're honest. So there is, again, a link in the description for Eurail if you are interested in that. Not just the Nordics, but really anywhere throughout Europe you can get a pass. They have multiple different types of passes that you can get depending on the level that you want access to. Like standard, do you want access to like a premium class? How many trips do you want to take in how long of a period of time? Lots of different options. The best way is to plan approximately how many trips you want to take, and then get a pass that is that many trips, and that's like the most economical way to do it, really.
Definitely, if you are not following us on Instagram, definitely follow us on Instagram, because we are having a giveaway fairly soon that I think a lot of you would be very interested in. All
right, so WayFam, I hope we encouraged you to get out there and travel today. Come visit the Nordics. If you haven't already, watch our entire Nordic Summer series. Link is up here in the corner.
Let us know which experience you liked the most.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye!
Bye!